BBN, good afternoon. What's up, people? Oh my good Jimmy, man. Look, I'm glad that you can't hear my echo, but this echo in my ear is bothering me so bad.
Yeah.
It is. Ugh, I hate hearing myself talk. Nobody, I don't want to hear myself talk.
Yeah, I
That's
don't hear it on my end. So yeah, you're good.
okay. That's good. So, man, dude, it's good to have you on. It's
Yeah,
uh,
great to
it's
be on. Thank you.
It's definitely been a couple of days since we've actually had a chance to do a live together. Now I have a question. Is this breaking up a little bit?
I,
So it's
I'm not
clear.
having any problems or yeah, everything's clear. Sounds
Okay.
good. Yeah.
Man, dude, it only happens on the Loyal BBN fan show as well, bro. Hey Jimmy, hey, how's the weather up there by you?
Man, you don't even want to talk about the weather up here. We've got so much rain, so much. Well, now the rain is subsided.
Yeah.
Now we're still in the flooding stages. They said it's probably not even going to crest until at least Wednesday or Thursday and start going down then. But I mean, the Kentucky River, the Lake Harrington, everything around me, it's just total devastation. They're having all kinds of just people helping out other people, which, everybody wants that in their lives. But yeah, it's having to have other people help people. And then you got, the Red Cross, and you got all kinds of evacuation people and teams and National Guard, different things like that helping out. So it's a big mess up here right now.
Oh wow, man. Did you I think you said that your house was affected a little bit?
It got right up there. It was close. Yeah.
Wow, man, it's amazing when we look on TV and we see these storms, and that's one thing, but when it actually affects you, it becomes a different story. So please, everyone out there, be safe. Hey, let
Yes.
us know in the comments if you guys have been affected, or if you know someone that has been affected as well. So we're gonna just hang out. But man, it feels good to be live today. I was laying in bed this morning. I was like, I got to go to the store, but I realized Jimmy wants to go live today. So
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, let's go live with Jimmy today. Uh, man, dude, just I know you guys can't hear it, but I can hear it. I should just take this off. I'll take one out. But so Jimmy, recruiting, Coach Pope, the transfer portal, like
It,
what's going on with the fan base is, does it
man,
yeah.
I have watched some shows. I've seen comments here and there. I know a lot of these fans are they're seeing like other teams getting some of the players that we maybe was going after. We might have contacted them, yeah. But when people say that we lost a recruit to like Oklahoma, or we lost a recruit to, you really need to recruit them for more than a week if you're going to lose them. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. When you recruit players out of high school, you recruit them for 6 to 8 months, and then you lose them to Duke or Kansas, then you lost a player. But when you only recruit someone for about a week, that don't mean you lose them. You might have even just did a Zoom chat. You might have just picked up the phone and talked to them for a little bit. It wasn't that there was anything in guaranteed in stone written down that you was going to be coming to Kentucky, and that when somebody else popped into the picture, you went somewhere else, and I lost you. That's not what's going on with this transfer portal. Every player, I mean, they're talking to a 14, 20, 25 different schools at one time. Just because you get mentioned and you're talking to them for 2 or 3 days doesn't mean that you're set in stone. You're going to get that player.
Uh but okay, so answer this question for me, Jimmy, because you follow recruiting 20 times more than I do. Is it the fact that that individuals are choosing other programs? Now, I get what you're saying as far as we talk to them 1, 2 times, Zoom, maybe a text, maybe a phone call, but does it concern the BBN that like a player like Eagle staff would choose a South Carolina over Kentucky? Is that a reflection of Coach Pope? Is that a reflection that maybe we didn't go hard at him? Or, I mean, how would you classify that?
I know Pope has a system, but the way I'm looking at it is he might have been a little serious with Eagle staff to begin with before he went to South Carolina. But I believe that Pope has got some kind of a system of the way he's wanting to do things. Some of these players might just say, well, I'm going to mention Kentucky and say, I want Kentucky on my list. That way, if they were going to go somewhere else and Kentucky didn't want them, they could maybe up the NIL price to the other school and say, well, this is what Kentucky was going to give me, and see if they'll give them a little bit more and use Kentucky as leverage.
You know what, Jimmy? I have never thought about that, bro. Like, I mean, I understand the kids do it, but for some particular reason, just transfer portal cycle and everything that never really came to mind. It
Yeah.
never came to mind that they could just be using the UK name as a leverage to
Yeah.
go to get more money somewhere else.
Eagle staff,
Wow.
Eagle staff probably got a pretty good bag of money going to South Carolina, and maybe was never ever serious with talks with Pope. Just mentioned us along with it, but I mean, there's plenty more. There's still players is going to be. We got like another 2 weeks before the portal actually closes. So I mean, and if the Final Four ends up tonight, championship game, the NIT basketball tournaments, they just ended yesterday. So there's a lot more players is going to be coming in and out between now and the next couple of weeks. And Pope might have done this on a reason. Hey, I want to see what all the players is, and just don't grab up 3 or 4 players. Then I don't have a room for 1 or 2 at the very end of the cycle.
It makes a lot. It makes a lot of sense, man. But it's amazing that that these kids, I'm trying not to say kids because they're
Yeah,
not kids. These are young men.
young men
It's
now. Yeah,
amazing that they know the game now, and that they know that if I mention another powerhouse school, or if I put 3 or 4 in there, but they could already have a school that they want to go to, but they trying to up the money
yeah.
just by throwing in, Alabama wants me, UConn wants me,
UConn one,
all these
yeah,
teams want me. So what are you willing to give me if I come here to play basketball? Man, Jimmy, I'm
yeah,
glad you brought that up, bro.
yeah,
Yeah. So I also want to bring up what David said. Um, David put up a good thought right here. He said, let me see if I can throw this up for David. David said, right here, and this is pretty much what you said too as well. Just because we're talking to them doesn't mean their personality fits our coaching style. And see, this right here goes right along with doing an interview for a job.
yes.
We can
Hmm.
interview 25 people. That doesn't mean that we're going to give all 25 a job. We're
No.
trying to see who fits our system. You think that's part of Mark Pope's strategy?
Yeah, I believe 100% that's part of his strategy. There might have been like text messages to say Eagle staff or whatever player it is. I'm not circling his name for any reason, just using his. But there might have been like Zoom chats, text messages. Pope never sat down and actually talked to him on the face to face on the phone. Got to talk to him and fill out his personality and what he thinks about the way the game is being played today, how he would maybe fit in Pope's system. If Pope ended up seeing a little bit of something there, he might just say, hey, I'm just gonna I might just give a couple days and I'll back off. We'll talk a little bit more. But he might just go ahead, and that's probably one of the reasons we have not got some of these players that everybody is looking on paper. Oh my goodness, they're so great. How come we're losing on? Well, they might have something in their personality or their take back with Pope not fitting what he wants to bring in to Kentucky's brand.
Jimmy, is Kentucky an attractive brand still in 2025?
We still are. I think we have fallen off a little bit, but
Okay.
and I believe that was in the last 6, 7 years we have fallen off. We used to turn the needle, and we used to move the needle, turn the needle, however you want to say it. There used to be that blue dust off everything that Kentucky touched, and it kind of went downhill. And I'm thinking now Pope has brought some of it back. He's got us into a Sweet 16 now. What we're going to be looking for next year is one game after the Sweet 16. We're going to be looking for an Elite 8 game. We're going to be looking for, we're wanting to be in the Final Four game. We was one game away, I believe, from being in the Final Four this year if they would have maybe the brackets would have not came together where we had to play another SEC team, especially an SEC team that we beat 2 times in a row, and they was in on some vengeance. But, the brand has fallen off, and we're still part of the blue bloods. I mean, that's never going to change. We've got the second most national titles than any team besides UCLA. So we're not going to fall off on that. We're not losing titles. We're still can win some more titles. We're not going to be losing anything.
So I know that there's already a lot of people in the portal right now, and there's a lot more to come.
Yeah.
I know that that this is the dead period or the quiet period, whatever phrase they use. Is What do you think Coach Pope is doing at this particular time to get ready for it to reopen?
Are you talking about the portal, or are you just talking about? Well, I think the portal is actually shut down. You cannot go to a actual visit.
Yeah.
I believe you might be able to meet them in a neutral site, but that might not be true either. The only thing I know is that they can probably just text or call somebody. So it's kind of like a dead period, I think, until the 9th or 10th of this month.
Okay. Rick Brown put up, he said, isn't the portal on lockdown until like April 9th?
Yeah.
Media contact only, no visits or hosting until then.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess it opens back up in 2 days.
In 2 days, yeah.
Okay. And it's going to, sorry about that. It's going to be active for all college teams. The Final Four is over.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of kids.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a lot of kids that's not in it today might be in it tomorrow morning or right after the game the game is actually over.
Yeah.
So it could be some from Florida. It could be some from Houston. We just never know. So we got to, for me, I try to be patient myself as well. I think for me, even as a fan, let me speak as a fan first. I think because when I see players choose Alabama or Oklahoma or won't even a South Carolina, schools like that.
Yeah.
I think as a Kentucky fan, I kind of get worried a little bit, but I try to bring myself back down to earth. And I have to say that Coach Pope, if he did it in year 1, why can't do it in year 2?
Yeah, 12 months ago, 12 months ago to like right now, we had no players on the roster besides Travis Perry.
Yeah.
So, he worked a lot of miracles in 2 months to get a roster of 12 players. I'm not doubting one bit that he might get 3 or 4 more players between now and the end of the portal.
Oh, man, this is in 2 more days. So do you think the fan base?
Not 2 more days. That's just when the portal opens back up.
Yes.
But there's still like another 2 weeks after that, and then once the deadline is for, I think, towards the end of April, then that deadline is the last time anybody can put their name in. But you can still be recruiting the players that has their name in.
Yeah.
So it could go all the way up until the NBA draft. I believe we got a couple players last year right at the end of June. towards the end of June during
Yeah.
the draft. We didn't even know Jackson Robinson was going to play. Remember how that saga went for a day after the NBA draft deadline, and it took a day later, and we didn't know where Jackson Robinson, if he just fled the country, was he going to play ball anymore?
Yeah.
But he ended up saying he was going back to Kentucky no matter what, or going to Kentucky. But
Yeah.
it's we could have it all the way up until the end of June for Pope to maybe get his last player.
Okay. Man, so who's out there right now that Coach Pope is doing video calls with, talking to, that still maybe small possibility?
I believe I've got 4 that I really would like to see Pope get, and that's at the Alvaro Vulgarius out of Robert Morris,
Yeah.
6'9", 215 pounds. He'd have 2 years left. He would take over like an Amari Williams role. I mean, he could step in and play that role real easy. Great shooter. He can pass. He's a great 3-point shooter. He's everything that Mark Pope would want in a 6'9", power forward, swing forward. But just because you say power forward, swing forward, he can play the 4 position, could play some of the 3 position because he can handle the ball. I like. Go
Hey,
ahead.
Jimmy.
Yeah.
Jimmy, let me ask you a question before you keep going. How do we replace what we had in Carr?
I believe the player Cam
Williams?
you got Cam Williams that we got. Yeah, I got so many names going on. Cam Williams is that type of player that can, take over Andrew Carr's spot. Carr was 6'10", 6'11", but
Yeah.
he didn't jump over many credit cards. I mean, he didn't get off the floor. I believe that Cam Williams, he's gonna take care of that role. I know that. We still got Garrison. Garrison gets in the weight room. Garrison needs to average a double-double. He needs 10, 12 points a game and 10 rebounds, 10 or 12, 12 and 12 guy, a 12 and 10 guy. He needs to average 10 points or 10 rebounds a game. And then let him. I know that with Malachi Moreno, he's more of a defensive threat. He's a very skilled offensive player down low, but he's real raw, and he needs the coaching that Pope is guaranteed going to give him as a big man. But he can learn off of Garrison. I think he will pick up one more big guy. I just don't know who that big guy is, because there's so many different players just being thrown around here and there. It's just up until they start sitting down and talking with the ones that he is seriously wanting to talk with.
Okay. Unknown said that UK is meeting with JQ today, which is
I think it's Jaden Quaintance.
Yeah.
The thing with him, he's injured right now. He had to have surgery. I don't know that you want to go after. I know he is a great talent, and he played real good for Arizona State this year, but he is an injured prone player and injured right now. So, that's still something that Mark Pope, if he thinks the injury is going to be fine and he'll be ready to go by the beginning of the season, that's all up to Mark Pope and his coaching staff. But he would be a great an addition because of just what he did coming out of high school and what he did at Arizona State.
Leah says, which who will be on the show too, once or twice with Jimmy. I look forward to having her on.
Hey, Leah, how you doing?
Leah said, honestly, I don't want him, man. He's too skinny, and we would get beat up in the paint.
I had it on my paper that I was going to mention him, but I did see that he is a silky smooth player playing in the McDonald's All American game. But yeah, he is going to get bullied around, and if he plays SEC ball and SEC is anywhere close to what it was last year, physicality, he will be pushed all over that court.
Is there anybody out there that's in the portal right now as a big man that can come in and start over Garrison?
I believe as long as everything is still going on good with the talks, is the Mackenzie Mbako from Indiana. He's 6'8", 220 pounds. He's a McDonald's All American. They had a confirmed visit that's supposed to be set up. He shoots 32.9 from the three, 43% field goal shooter, average 12 points, 4.6 rebounds. But yeah, he would be a person that could come in and start right now as a Andrew Carr role or
Okay.
Amari Williams role.
Well, I mean, you said he's 6'8", right?
Yeah, he's 6'8", but he has a longer wingspan. But yeah, he would be limited if he was playing against 6'10", 7-footers. But
Yeah.
I still think we got Garrison is 7 foot, and we got Malachi Moreno, he's 7 foot too. So, we've got 2 7-footers that he would be playing right behind also.
Man, dude, I mean, when you think about SEC basketball and how strong and how big these guys is,
Yeah.
a 6'8" guy. You did mention it as well too, but a 6'8" guy in the SEC,
Yeah,
I
it's
just
not.
don't know how
Yeah.
he holds his weight.
Yeah.
Now you said, let's see, Lord, David Ennick says, Lord, no injury players. UConn would catch up. I think Darren Harley is a nutcase, but the guy is getting talent, and I'm pretty sure that this next season ain't going to be like this year.
Yeah.
Next year is going to be fun, man. Next year is going to be a fun team. I just as a fan, I hope Mark Pope is, and I have to trust that he knows what he's doing. That he's going to get the right guys in here. Let's talk about the mindset of mid-major players coming up and stepping up. We saw the success that we had this year. Is that the way to go? Is that the new way of college basketball? Is bringing up a lot of mid-majors and having success? Because I think Florida's
Well,
having a lot of success too.
a lot of teams are, and I don't think a lot of teams are going to shy away from it once they got the taste of seeing what it did for other teams, what it did for them. There's like some coaches like Rick Pitino at St. John's. He said, I don't want to do anything but go after transfers. He might get a freshman here or there, but I'm thinking that you might get 1 or 2 freshmen. They might as well just go ahead in the NBA, just, forget about the one and done rule and let players go to the NBA, because a lot of these freshmen, they're used to going to a school and playing with 4, 5, 6 freshmen. I think those days are over. I believe it's going to be, you're going to have 3, 4-year players on the team that might mix in with a couple freshmen. And you've seen what it did with Duke this year. They had 2 superstar freshmen with some older people. And guess what? They still are not into the championship game. So,
That's true.
UConn and Dan Hurley, he can go out and get all the great freshmen out of high school they can, but 5 freshmen is not going to win a national championship in these days. It didn't back with the Fab Five, and it's not going to do it right now.
That's going to hold up, huh? Kentucky, we had a few guys in 12 when we won 2 as well.
Yeah, but we had a couple.
Yeah.
We had 2 that came back from the year before, so
that helped out a lot, man.
Yeah.
Who else you got, man?
Like Jaron Pierre from Jacksonville State. What he played a great game against us. Back in November, 6'5", 185 pounds, 20.9 points per game, averaged 5 rebounds, 35% 3-point shooter. He was a 47.7% field goal shooter. 3.5 assists a game. He just gets to the rim. He does just what he is supposed to do on the court. He don't try to do anything extra. He just makes sure that he is under control and he keeps everybody else in the flow. And if he needed to, I believe he would be a person you could put the ball in his hand and he's going to get you a bucket at the very end of the first half when you're wanting to run a play just to keep the second half getting ready coming up, or towards the end of the game when we needed a bucket. That'd be somebody you could have in his hands. I would love for him to be an addition for this team.
I went back and actually watched his film whenever I saw, and I actually did a little video. I think I did, and I put his picture up when I did it. But I went back and watched this game against against other teams, and man, the guy can actually play really good basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And it's for me is the best guard in the portal, I think, which is it's a couple of people here unknown.
Yeah,
Leah, it's a couple people who's actually mentioned that they would love to have Pierre on the team.
yeah.
Have you? I mean, have they met with him yet? Have they did a Zoom in face, or
I
what do
know
you know
that
about that?
I know that they said that they was in the works of having one set up. I have not heard anything since then, but that's been about like a week ago when I was
Okay,
hearing that. So I mean, that might have happened right before this dead period, and
yeah.
then they might get something set up on the next 2 or 3 days.
Mm. This is the thing about the portal, man. Where like this is almost more exciting than recruiting
Yeah,
because at
well,
this point in time, where college basketball is at, it is about the 5 stars. I get all of that,
yeah,
but the portal has become so fun that I think a lot of people really look forward to seeing which older guys are we going to be able to bring into the team that can help Kentucky compete. And I'm sure all programs across the nation are thinking the same thing. But it's really fun to be able to see which top transfers can Kentucky bring to can Kentucky bring in to help compete the next year.
oh yeah, exactly. But yeah, I kind of wish that this recruiting period for the portal would have started like tomorrow.
Yeah,
I mean, right after the national championship game and after the NIT is done and the
yeah,
NCAA, and then let it go for one whole month. And that's just with high school recruiting. You've seen a kid when he's a sophomore. You see him when he's a junior. You see him with a
yeah.
senior, unless he reclassifies and leaves early. But you know him for a couple of years. In this, you know him for a week, or you might know him for 2 or 3 days, and then he's off and gone, and you're like, well, I wasted 24 hours on somebody looking at their film, writing things down, taking notes, looking things up on his web page and seeing what he has done as out of basketball, what he did at this school, different. It's a totally different recruiting process, though.
It, it is. And I had something I was going to ask you, Jimmy, and I went blank for a second. What was I going to ask you, Jimmy? I had a question I
Yeah,
was
it's
going to ask
yeah,
you.
it's midnight. April 10th is when the deadline or the uh, period ends. Yeah.
Yes. Thanks, Leah, for that. Curious on how many 5 stars are playing tonight. Ooh, that's a good question. How many 5 stars are playing tonight? That's a really good
Well,
question.
I mean,
I'm glad Duke ain't. I'm.
yeah, I'm glad
I
Duke
was
ain't,
so
but
happy, man. Thank you, Duke.
yeah. But the thing is, I think with Houston and Florida, most of the players is gonna either graduate or they're gonna be coming back. I don't think that Florida or Houston is going to lose any players,
Okay.
unless they lose them to the NBA
Oh
or that
yeah.
they graduate.
Well,
They're not going to transfer somewhere else.
I got you.
Yeah,
I mean, but those guys, both of those teams are going to be losing some seniors.
yeah, they're going to be
Who,
losing a lot of seniors,
yeah,
so
they're
they're
going
going
to
to
be
be
losing some
they're
seniors.
going to be bringing people in. They ain't going to be losing anybody. Yeah.
Let me throw up this comment by Zach. I'm sorry if I'm coming off negative. No, Clark, Zach, you're not. But we certainly need to be honest with ourselves. If we don't get at least 2 players that are stars, we're going to get stumped in the ground. How you feel about that, Jimmy?
Uh, I agree, but then I disagree. I believe he is still going to get 1, 2 real good players that is going to be like ranked in the top 5 of the portal. I
Yeah.
think at Alvaro Flogarius is one of them.
Okay.
There's still some more that's still out there, and I believe he will get 2 real good players, and then he's going to get a couple that's still going to be able to be around for 2, 3 years and develop them, and they could be a role player and then better the next year. But we still need to get a couple good horses in here that is just come in and let's we're ready to ball. Let's bring it on.
Are we are we at a point where Coach Pope doesn't need to recruit any or bring in any more guards? Are we set at that position? Is it time to move past that and start looking for some big, as you just said, some horses in there that can really get down and dirty
I
and help us
I
in the
believe
trenches?
I believe he can still do both. I think he's probably going to get 4 more players. I think he can get one big boy, and then maybe another forward, and maybe another forward to go along with that, a swing guard. But I believe he will get one more guard because I don't want to. I don't want it to be what it happened last year when we was down Carissa, and then we was down Lamont Butler, and then we was down Jackson Robinson, and then Kobe Brea was hurt. We
Yeah.
almost went down to where it was Travis Perry. It was running the whole show.
Didn't didn't Travis Perry get like one start this
I
year?
think he got one start because we didn't have anybody else that could do
Nobody-
anything.
Yeah, for real. Which is says a
So
lot
I,
about.
I I don't want to get in that situation again of being hurt players. I
I
mean,
I understand. Yeah, absolutely. So
yeah,
I think that was my question that I was going to ask about the big man. So if we bring in a lot of more bigs as far as for forwards, how does that affect what Trent Noah is able to do?
Trent Noah, I think he is going to be more groomed to be a 3 from here on out instead of being a 4. And I think he's going to be a big 3 because he hustles. He is a great shooter. And I think he is going to be in a lot better physical, conditioned next year to play into that system for him to be a 3 guard instead of being like maybe a swing 4. But I believe he could still play both positions. But I think he's going to be groomed to be able to play the 3 and be a big shooting guard.
I like what Childress Outdoors says. Where does this leave Chandler with all the guards and stuff we got coming in? Is he still going to see the floor?
Oh yeah, I believe Chandler is going to be one of them workhorses, boys. That he is going to be able to improve over the summer. I think he's going to get stronger, and I think towards the end of this year, this is the best that we saw him play. It took him one whole year just to get back from not even playing basketball for 2 straight years. So I believe this is going to be a real breakout year. I think he'll put on another 10, 15, 20 pounds, and he's going to be a real great shooter. Towards the end of the year, every time he shot the ball, I thought it was going in.
I think so. I'm son of a gunner says pretty sure Garrison and Chandler was 5 stars, but
Yeah,
I could be wrong. I know Garrison was. He was in the mix
Garrison
on.
was. Yeah,
Yeah.
Chandler was too before he went to BYU.
Okay.
So,
Cool.
but that's been like 4 years
Yeah.
ago. I
Has been
mean,
ages.
yeah,
Chandler would emerge as a starter by year through. And uh, of course, with the transfer portal, and when people still having time to decide what they're going to do, I hope that Chandler comes back next year.
oh
I
yeah,
mean,
I do. Yeah,
I haven't heard anything, but as far as I hope he doesn't transfer because he really started playing ball, and you
yeah,
give him another off season, a full off seasons with a full team to practice or to play pickup ball with and
yeah,
get to know each other.
yeah. I don't.
Chandler,
Yeah,
Chandler
I
can
don't.
really be that dude.
I don't know that he would start next year. I think he's going to be a great role player off the bench. He'd
Yeah.
be a spark plug, just like what he did this year. And then uh, you know he year 3 he could definitely jump into a starting role.
Okay, man. the information, Jimmy. You know what I love about this show, and I said this before too, as
Oh
well.
yeah.
I just I'm blown away with just the information that the viewers have. You know that
Hmm.
it's just so much information going on. So Garrison was a 5-star. Chandler was a 4-star, ranked 33 by ESPN. Yeah.
Well, it could have been, he might have been a 5-star and 24/7 or something.
Okay. Okay.
They got 4 or 5 different ones, but
Yeah.
ESPN, that's a real good one. If he was a 4-star, but I swore that he was that they said he was a 5-star when he came to Kentucky last year.
I think the biggest thing with Chandler is knowing that he could actually be here for a is my I think my microphone is just broke. I don't know what's going on with this. But I think the big thing with Chandler is we know he's going to be here for maybe two at least 2 years, and
Yeah.
maybe 3 or 4. It just depends on how everything plays out.
Oh yeah, yeah, I believe so. Yeah, I know a lot of people. I think uh, Matthew Perkins. Yeah, Lindbergh. That was a player that I kind of thought that he was wrapped up to go to Kentucky way they was talking about it, but stepped up for Dusty May in Michigan. They stepped in and maybe he was using Kentucky as a stepping thing, but he was the number one player in the portal, and that did that when I saw that he went to Michigan, I was like, I kind of shook my head on that one. Yeah, that hurt.
Um, Zach Clark says that he doesn't really feel like it's going to be a successful year, but he doesn't feel like that this is the Final Four year for Coach Mark. I mean, for Coach Pope going into next year. Not sure exact rank.
Well, I mean, it could, if he got to the Elite Eight and lost a freakish game to make it to the Final Four. I don't know what Kentucky fans will think about that, but as long as he puts a good team on the floor and we're continually to get better each and every year, I know people want them rings.
Gotta
Yeah.
hang better. Jimmy, I want to ask you a somewhat of a controversial question. Perry is a Kentucky guy. Recently, I have seen so many people advocating that it's okay for Perry to leave the program and go somewhere else. How do you feel about that issue with Perry? Give me your unbiased opinion. Does Perry belong on the Kentucky Wildcats?
I don't know if everybody.
Sorry to put you on the
I
spot.
know you put me on the spot, but I mean, I love to have Kentucky, players from Kentucky on this team, but it comes to a sit down situation that you got to make with everybody. You know, is it helping, the basketball team, or is it just helping the nature of the sport that we've got a Kentucky player on the team and that everybody can wish and hope that he gets in the game the last 25 seconds of the game, or if he could go to Eastern Kentucky or Western Kentucky and be a starter and enjoy playing basketball and everything all the time instead of just being a player that gets to get on the court maybe 30 seconds in a blowout game. I know he played a lot of great minutes this year, but he had to. But he is being over recruited. We're getting players in that we know that he's still going to be pushed back.
Isn't that a waste of a scholarship though?
Yeah, and here pretty soon, I think each team is able to have 15 scholarship players. So there's really no walk-ons. Each player is going to have, if you're a walk-on, you're going to be a player that has a scholarship. So do you want to use 15 players? I know a lot of teams is not going to have 15 good players because you can't play 3 different teams
Yeah.
and do a platoon times one times two times three on that one there.
Yeah.
But so you might have some that is a walk on, but that's just for practices. You're going to have 12, 13 good players on the roster that you shouldn't have to worry about them walk ons just to be in practice.
I got you.
And then maybe be in the game at the end, with 30 seconds left and you're up by 40.
Exactly. So, Antonio Reynolds, I see your question, okay, and I'm gonna get back to you. The And that's the thing with Perry. Perry, him and Trent. If we didn't have injuries this year, would have been the case for those guys? We would have had to been up at the end of the ball game about 20, 25 points for those guys to see the floor. But because before Kirk Christer got hurt and before our injuries
Yeah.
downfalls started happening, those guys didn't get on the floor.
No, they would have only been at the end of the games if Kirk Christer would have played all year long, never got hurt. If Butler never got hurt, Jackson Robinson never got hurt. I think Kobe Barea was hurt a couple games. I believe Carr was hurt. So that gave Trent Noah and Travis Perry, some time to come in, and even Chandler. But that was when he still wasn't playing the way Chandler did at the end of the year. But I believe that Noah is the more prone player to be on this court and be able to contribute next year, and he, I think, has the more physical abilities to do that.
Okay. Hey, I got a question for you from Anthony Reynolds. This question is for you. Was there a kid from BYU coming to Kentucky or thinking about it?
At one time, there was rumors that Richie Saunders from BYU that was there when Pope left. He kind of thought about coming to Kentucky last year, but he changed his mind. I believe he is going to end up staying at BYU. But there have been rumors that Pope has had talks with somebody from BYU, but I'm thinking it was that Richie Saunders boy.
Okay, appreciate it. Oh, I'm so glad you wanted to answer that. Thank you, Jimmy. I appreciate it. Trent going to be a huge next year. I like Trent Noah. I like Trent because he has a big body. He hustles really hard.
Hustles, yeah.
We don't have to rely on him having a ball in his hand. Just get him in position, and I think he can hit some shots for you. He can definitely spread the floor for you, which is really good. So, which is a 4, because of course he came in. When he came in, he was always a threat to hit, to hit the jump shot. I hope people are right about him. I hope that he's definitely going to be a success story moving forward, because I think we can use him. For me, I like to see. I love when Kentucky fans, particularly who are truly from Kentucky, who live in Kentucky, who they can give their honest opinion about whether they think Travis Perry should stay on the team or go. And it's kind of up in the air by a lot of different fans. But I enjoy when people don't worry about what others will say about their thoughts, and they're able to just say, "Hey, I think Travis is a good Perry, just not at at Kentucky." Because of course, we just know that what we went through with with Cassidy Rowe and all that big issue. So it's one of those things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Final Four bound if Denham returns and doesn't go pro with Saunders, and BYU is going to be good next year, and that's why I think Saunders ain't going nowhere next year.
Yeah, I believe that he knows that he's going to be a starting role, and with AJ Debanza and the return players that they have, they're going to be. I think I did see that they was listed in the top 5 starting for next year.
Oh man, that's going to be a good team next year. Basketball is going to be fun next year.
It's going to be real fun. Yeah.
David, I'm sorry, go ahead.
UK4 Life said, "Who's this Lithuanian kid we're talking to?" If I'm correct, it's the Alvaro Florgarius, the boy from Robert Morris, but he's from overseas, and he's the 6'9", 215-pound player from Robert Morris that he is probably in my top 5 of the transfer portal right now.
Jimmy, I think you might be on to something there, big guy.
I'm I'm wanting to get one of these right. I mean,
I know, right? Davis was a unicorn. Yeah, Davis was different. Davis was a different player, that's for sure, too.
yeah,
We got 109 people watching right now. And
awesome.
I'm not sure how many likes we have so far, but if you haven't liked the video, would you do us a favor
Yeah, hit
and
that.
smash that like button for us? Um, Nobody says and if you didn't know already, if you didn't see, we have passed 3,000 subscribers. We did that. And look, I'm glad I got Jimmy on here because I wanted to do this. I didn't want to tell Jimmy just as a text message. I wanted to tell Jimmy live, and I want other people to hear. Jimmy, we only went over 3,000 because of you. I didn't do a video. All four of us together didn't do a video. Jimmy, your videos pushed us over 3,000. Well,
Well,
easily. So I just wanted to say publicly, thank you, Jimmy, for your recruiting videos. I know we don't always get our picks right, but
oh
we
yeah.
understand that it's just speculation and it's people talking. But Jimmy, your videos and what you did for the Loyal BBN fan show was unbelievably. Thank you so much for your videos, Jimmy. And I just want to give you a,
Hey,
a hand clap because
I
you pushed us over.
well, hey, I want to say thank you for letting me come on
Yeah.
the show and do this. I mean, 6 months ago we wasn't even doing this. We
Yeah.
just kind of chat back and forth and got things together
Yeah.
towards the beginning of the season. But yeah, I really enjoy it, and I'm happy that all these fans get to sit here and do this and follow us and watch and just have fun. I mean, this is we know we when we go to bed, we're going to wake. Hopefully, we wake up the next morning after a basketball game that we,
Yeah.
we don't have to sit there and worry about.
Yeah.
Oh man, we lost.
It's
Well, yeah, it's getting better. So I believe in Pope, and
yeah.
I seen a couple people commenting and stuff about next year's team. Are we going to be a 1 seed? I'm right now. I'm enjoying the moment, and when the season starts next year, we'll discuss that. But there's a lot of things going on between now and June when they start practice in the summer.
Yeah. And another reason why I don't go on Jimmy's recruiting shows and I let Jimmy do it by himself, like that's Jimmy's baby. I like forgive me if I say this. I don't follow recruiting because I have so much going on. So I don't have a chance to follow it like night and day like Jimmy does. So I feel like if Jimmy is spending so much time doing the recruiting stuff, I think that should be his spotlight. I don't need it. I don't need to. I'm not power hungry. I don't need to be the front and everything. If Jimmy can do this by himself, I say, Jimmy, go do your show and everything, and all the praise and all the stuff should be going directly to you because I don't need the credit for it.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
I appreciate that.
Absolutely, Jimmy.
I just, hey, I'm just glad to be on here and, talk basketball. I mean, sometimes I think I get sick of hearing myself. You said something about that the other day. I talk to myself when I'm sitting here watching the TV and I ain't got nobody to talk to. Well, where is this kid going to go to? I'm like,
Yeah, yeah,
I got to watch film on this guy.
yeah.
I'm like, oh, wow, I'm talking to myself here.
Well, as long as you don't answer yourself, you okay, Jimmy.
Yeah, yeah.
Perry Booth. My show is all about letting people say what they want and not being afraid. Uh, Chill just says Perry moves like he's in quicksand and lacks height and size. He's just not built for SEC basketball. A lot of people feel that way, and
Yeah.
then a lot of people feel that he is. And if you take him from the 1 and move him to the 2, he could be a whole lot better. Take that little responsibility off his hand. Let him be a shooter. Let him do what he does best.
Yeah.
things could be
Well, I
different.
mean, he reminds me of Travis Ford that played, in the '90s. But Travis Ford had a lot of great players around him. He had Jamal Mashburn. He had great players. Him and Perry are about the same size, same weight. They was both, they're both slow. They didn't have a lot of athleticism. They wasn't going to get above the, they probably wasn't going to touch the foam on the backboard. Travis figured out how to play that way in the SEC. I don't know if you gave that was after he was there for 4 years.
Yeah.
Maybe in 4 years, Travis Perry, if he cuts it out and just stays with the what his decision was, then maybe he could be a plug-in player that's not going to start, but he can come off the bench and give you 15 good minutes a game, or something like that. I hope something like that works out, but if he's not happy, I would love to see him happy playing somewhere like Western or the Eastern or any school here in the state of Kentucky. Or
Wow. Yales and Pierre predicted to UK.
I, I've
What?
go ahead. Yeah,
No, no,
I've
no.
Oh, yeah. I've heard that Pierre basically is set that everybody believes it's Kentucky. I think everybody believes Flogarius is for Kentucky. Yale's, I've seen that people are talking to him or talking Kentucky up. I haven't heard anything, but Pierre and Flogarius, I really feel real strong, confident. Maybe, I'm over 60, 70% saying that I feel good about it.
Let's go. Pierre is a solid, and I think Pierre is the one we talked about
Yeah,
earlier.
yeah,
With
6'5". Yeah, he's dynamic. Yeah.
are we, even though we don't have a full roster right now, is it too early to think that UK can be a real solid team next year, or do we need to wait and see what else pieces are actually at Kentucky?
Well, I mean, I've got the roster, and we got 10 real good players. I mean, you got a couple that it's that iffy part like Travis Perry, and never know how it's going to work out with Trent Noah. But we got 8 solid good players on the roster. That 10, I think he's going to get 13, 14 players and add to this roster. But this roster right now, I believe if they went out on the court and no injuries for a whole year, I'd say we can be a top 15 team with this roster. But you add in 4 other players along with the players that we had talked to previously. I believe this could be a top 10 team right off the bat and stay in the top 10. I don't think the SEC is going to be as hard as a gauntlet like BC said all year long, and it was. I believe the SEC is going to lighten up and be a little bit easier. So, I mean, I don't think it's going to be every time you go out, a team's going to be ranked 15 or above. And even though if you're ranked above them, you go to their home court, you're going to be an underdog by 1.5 points just because the conference was so hard. But yeah, I do like this roster the way it's set up now, but I'm liking the pieces that I'm thinking he's going to be adding along with this team.
With Ortega coming back next year, is Coach Pope trying to build around him, or is he just trying to see what fits in his overall system? Because I mean, look, Ortega's going to be the man next year. I
Yeah.
think that's safe to say.
Yes.
So, are we putting pieces around Ortega, or how do you think? Uh, how do you think that all of these players coming in is going to be able to gel together with the Cam, with the Low? You got Ortega, you got Jasper. I mean, isn't this exciting though?
Yeah, yeah. Oh man, I cannot wait to see. We've got Jalen Lowe, Caden Lewis, and Jasper Johnson, all left-handed players. And you
3 of them.
have, yeah, I think Kentucky at one time had 3 players on the same team that was left-handed, but Jared Polson, I think, was one of the players.
Okay.
So, he didn't play a lot, but the other two played a lot. But we got three legitimate left-handed players that's going to play, 15, 20, 30 minutes a game. Depends on what type of the game is going on. But, yeah, this is going to be an exciting year. And I can't wait. But like you were saying, all these players meshing together, it happened this year. There's a lot of teams that try to do stuff like this and it just don't work out. You might have one player that is negative, and if you got one that's negative in the locker room goes down because of one player, then it messes up the whole technique, the whole situation.
The whole
And so
chemistry.
the whole chemistry. Yeah. And so I'm hoping that this year, that these players all come together and gel. But I think he's trying to build it around Ortega because everybody is going to be looking at Ortega. Okay, we saw you last year play college basketball for Kentucky. We saw you take Oklahoma down by yourself 2 different times. We seen you, take control of some of the games. He did, I think he took over a little bit too much at sometimes, but
Yeah.
it wasn't anything that, he did it for 25 straight minutes and he got set on the bench. It was just he did it a couple times and we was like, oh, just don't do that again. But I think he's kind of building around Ortega a little bit. And that way it's building his confidence up and puts trust that Pope has trust in Ortega and say, this is going to be your team this year. You're the senior.
Yeah, I think Ortega came back for 2 reasons: to beat Auburn and beat Alabama.
Oh, yeah.
I
Yeah.
think he did.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's gonna remember, and Tennessee. He's gonna remember
Oh,
that loss.
yeah, he's gonna remember
Yeah,
that
that
too as
loss is
well.
gonna really be when they come to Rupp or when we
Yeah.
go to Knoxville next year. That's gonna be a bitter taste in his mouth.
Do you, do you think the SEC is going to be really, really good next year as a whole again?
I think they're going to be real good. I don't think we're going to get 14, 13, 12 teams in like there was this year, but I think overall, I mean, Alabama, they're going to be a little bit down. They're going to be bringing in a lot of good players, but they don't have the seniors and the juniors that they had. Auburn's the same way. They're losing a lot of players. Tennessee is losing a lot of players. These 4 teams, Auburn, Alabama, Tennessee, we lost a little bit, but I think we're still in just a better position than Alabama, Auburn, or Tennessee right now. I believe once Pope does bring in the last 3, 4 players, I think we're going to be just as good as any team in the SEC. I think we might be ranked up there in the top 1 or 2 teams to be favorite next year.
This is exciting, bro.
Yeah.
Is it?
I mean, yeah, I this time last year, I was just like, yes.
I think we all will.
Who we getting? Are we going to get any players? Are we
Yep.
just going to, people at work where I was working at the time was like, you got any eligibility left? Can you still play a couple games of basketball? I was like, yeah, I guess I could try, but
We ain't winning many games.
yeah, we ain't going to win a lot of games, but I'll get out there and play.
I heard that. We give it our best
So
bet,
I mean,
man.
right now it's so exciting because we're sitting here with a 10-man roster. This time last year we were sitting here with a 1-man roster. So we got 10 players and he's got 3 or 4 to work with, and he's got to pick and choose which ones he's going to seriously go after. He might miss on one, but if he ain't going to miss, he's not going to miss on every one of them. He's going to get good players that will contribute. He brought in players last year we never heard of, and look what he did with those players.
Yeah,
Players that
yep.
played at Drexel, San Diego State, teams that we never watched play basketball the year before, but their players played their butts off for Mark Pope.
They sure
And
did.
they knew that when they was wearing that Kentucky jersey, that was the last time they was ever going to wear that Kentucky jersey, and they was giving it their all. I mean, you saw the players at the end of the year say they don't even know when they're going to take that jersey off.
For real. This time last year, we didn't have a coach. We didn't have anything.
No,
last
I mean,
year.
yeah, it was right just about this time of the year
For
when
real.
Pope got, and
For
we
real.
thought might Perry be the only player we got coming back.
Yeah, absolutely. Jimmy, I never asked the question, hey, if this is your first time ever watching live or just watching the show, period, could you please let me know in the comments so I can give you a shout out and just say thank you personally? for taking the time to watch out today. When Jimmy said let's go live, I was like, let's go live then.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's do it. So still March Pope. If it ain't March Pope, it ain't
Well,
gonna need to worry about.
yeah.
Um, so is there any fan base out there really right now that is more excited about next year than Kentucky is? Do you think?
I bet there's. I would say, we're probably in the top five.
Okay.
I know Louisville's excited. They've been getting a transfer, three of them in a row, and they're
Yeah.
all super stud guards, and they're going to be guard heavy, real good. There's other teams that had a down year like the Michigans and teams like that, but I believe that a lot of Kentucky fans is already ready for I don't want the summer to leave because I don't want the cold weather. I don't want this rain, this nasty stuff. But,
Yeah.
a lot of people's looking for October and get ready for Big Blue Madness and the blue and white game and the exhibition game against St. John's. We're going to be playing, I believe, Bellarmine. We're going to be playing Gonzaga again. We're going to be playing Michigan State. I believe we play, it might be UCLA in the other classic. I did hear a little reasoning. We cannot play in any of the other tournaments because of what we are in with that University of Kentucky, that we have 5 or 6 games during the regular season that is part of a blue classic that we played, I think, 4 or 5 different teams last year. Until they end doing that, Kentucky cannot play a preseason event. I think we could have played maybe in a couple of them this year, but you have to have your names put in for like the Maui Classic. They are 2 years ahead.
Okay.
So if your name isn't in, you just can't say I want to play in the Maui Classic next year. You have to wait your turn. So, I mean, we're going to have, plus we got Louisville on the schedule next year at Louisville. That's not going to be at Rupp Arena, but, but we're going to have some exciting games next year. I believe Gonzaga has to, no, we play Gonzaga in Nashville this coming year, I believe.
Yeah. Carmilla states that Louisville got about $10 million NIL money to pay out. Is Kentucky up there neck and neck with that?
Somebody told me they've got 10 to 12.
Ooh, okay.
That's what the rumors I heard was we have 10 to 12 million that we can use.
Jimmy, another question for you, big guy. Let me see. Make sure I got this right. Stephen Abner says, I came in late. Is there any news on Jaron Pierre Jr.?
Well, we talked about him earlier, but he's talking. Yeah. I mean, the news is, to me right now, the news I've heard that is a real good possibility he ends up being a Kentucky Wildcat.
That's going to be good news for a lot of people.
Oh yeah, I would love to see that news when we got off of here. I haven't checked my phone or done anything with any recruiting news, but
okay.
But yeah, I would love to see that as soon as we got off here come across the screen.
Yeah, for real, that would be nice. Someone says, are we still a number 3 in recruiting right now?
Right now, I saw that we are the 3rd best recruiting team with the 3 players that we got coming in. I mean, if somehow I don't know that anybody agrees or disagrees. I had that written down. How people believe or think. I believe a lot of people think like Nate Ament is just a player that is waiting to see going on, and he's dragging this on. I don't blame the kid for doing it because he might want to see what transfers are going here and there and where he would fit in best. If Kentucky did get him, I think our recruiting class would be probably number 1 because he is ranked the 6th or 7th best player coming out of high school, but he's paper thin and he's going to get bullied in the SEC. He's going to have to put some weight on and at least be in a system where he don't have to worry about being the man and scoring all the points, because if he is, he's going to get crushed.
I Carl I think it is true that Ortega said he's coming back. Or am I missing something, Jimmy?
All the reports has told me that he is coming back, and that his mom said that my boys are going to graduate and play their senior year and get a degree wherever they're playing college. She has a, he has a younger brother that plays football somewhere in a college, and she's like, he's doing the same thing. And then, as everybody knows, his older brother plays football for Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, man, he's a baby Durant, a legit walking bucket. Are we talking about Childress? Are we talking about we're talking about a mint? Is that who we talking about, Childress?
It might be a Nate Ament. He is I
He's the
mean,
real
he
thing,
he
huh?
he is the real thing. He is silky smooth. He can, I mean, he can shoot it from basically anywhere on the floor. He needs a lot of weight on him, and he could start probably anywhere, but defensively and on the boards, he's going to get pushed around.
Well, hopefully he can. Hey, okay, appreciate that, Childress. I hope if he comes to Kentucky, hope him and Garrison can work out together because we're gonna need Garrison on the boards this
Garrison
year.
needs to get about another 25, 30 pounds on him. And so does Malachi Moreno. He's
Yes,
gonna need to put about 40 pounds on,
yeah,
for him to be legit. If he was 7 foot and had another 40 pounds on him right now, he would be a legit player.
oh
But
man,
he's paper thin too. 7 foot, and you're only basically 190, 200 pounds. You're like a little feather being pushed around.
yeah, he needs to put some weight on. Jimmy, I got another question for you. Let me see this right here. Matthew Perkins says, "Do you think Pope reaches out to Texas Tech transfer Darren Williams?"
I haven't heard anything on that yet. I know that people said that he had put his name into the transfer portal, and he would be a great one. I think maybe now he might be one of the best players in the transfer portal. But I have not heard anything about Darren Williams that we have made any contact. I know that a couple people said that Kentucky might have interest in him. Now that in the last couple days they might have talk to each other on the phone. But as far as I know, there's no Zoom chats or any meetings that has been set up.
Okay. What position does he play?
He's 6'7", 6'8", swing forward. He's a big boy. He can bang with everybody. I mean, I think he was the. I think he had like 20 something points against Florida, and I don't know how Texas Tech lost that game. They was up by 9 with about 2 minutes to go,
Yeah,
but I believe he ended up having 20, 25 points. I mean, he led Texas Tech in that game against Florida.
I hope a mint doesn't go to Arkansas.
I, I, I mean that's still, he still has Arkansas on the list. I mean,
Okay.
yeah.
Well,
And far as I know, right now there is no set date for him. He might wait all the way up until the transfer portal is over and find out where everybody's going to go, and then if there's a spot, that's where he's going to go.
absolutely. So if you just joining, keep in mind that that it's only phone calls and Zoom calls, but no face to face until after the 10th. That's
After
when
the
the
Yeah,
yeah at
after the
midnight.
10th
Yeah,
at midnight.
that's when the dead period ends, and they can start doing the on campus visits and whatnot.
Yeah.
So that's some good information right there.
Mhm.
So wow. So Jimmy, that was good, man. I appreciate for
Hey.
a show that we said we was gonna go for about 30 minutes.
Oh yeah, we're over an
Yeah,
hour and 8 minutes.
yes
Wow.
we are.
I,
We
it,
moving, dude.
it's yeah.
Travis Perry is a liability when it comes to defense. So, and unfortunately, he can't just play offense. He's got to play defense too.
Yeah.
And I think that's where teams would definitely pick on him if that was the case. Kids don't have to say where they're going, even if they do pick a school until August. That's true. kids can keep it under the wrap and they can just show up at the university
Yeah,
and
they
surprise
don't have.
everybody.
There's no thing that says that you have to sign with a team. You can just, as long as you got like the NIL and all that figured out and used to, as long as you just signed it wasn't the letter of intent, but it was your financial aid papers or whatever for
Yeah.
school. As long as you had that filled out, you can just show up and play anywhere you wanted to.
Yeah, I guess that's true. And all that could be working out, but behind the scenes as well. Just stuff that we don't, that that they keep on hush hush and that we're not able to see.
Now I just saw that on threes Pete Nakos
Yeah.
recruiting. He called his shot. They said this past weekend that he predicted UK to land Flogaris.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he's put Flogaris. He's from Spain. I don't know if that one player, the one player they was talking about from Lithuania, but Spain is where he's from. But he ultimately puts his pick in for Kentucky on his crystal ball. So I'm hoping maybe that ends up making a decision within the next day or two on that one.
Defense, I think, Josh. Let's see if I can throw up a couple more comments. This is a good question right here. Who's the number one guy in the portal y'all think is a must get?
I think that's. Oh, go ahead.
No. Go ahead, Jimmy.
Oh no, I believe it's Jaron Pierre or Alvaro Flogaris. I think we need both of those, and those would be two that if we do not get both of them, I would be a little concerned. But I know there's still going to be more players out there, but we really need those two. I think those two fits Mark Pope's system and would be outstanding for us next year.
Support our guys more than anyone. I like this about Snake Oil right here. He said a lot of young players don't realize one of the major advantages of playing at UK is besides money, school offers. They get so many outside deals from local businesses. We support our guys better than anyone.
Well, look what Reed Shepard got from that car dealership. I think he was making like close to 50 million off of a car dealership.
Really?
For the year that he was at Kentucky, I believe they said he had some kind of unreal dealership with one of the Ford dealers in Lexington or something that they gave him a bunch of money.
Oh my goodness, that's a lot of money, Reed.
Yeah,
you could stay another year, big guy.
I don't know why you want to go to the NBA if you got 50 million in the bank. I mean, play another year in college. He probably didn't want to get hurt, but if you blow 50 million in your lifetime, I don't know what you're doing because
they do it.
They do it. Somebody does. I know. Yeah,
it happens. That is true. Kills me to see Louisville land so many. Jimmy, this is kind of the gist of why you wanted to do this show right here. Is and I'm sure John Boyish feels the same way that a lot of people feel, but kills me to see Louisville land so many top dudes and UK missed on many big fish.
I mean, you can look at it. I am, and then I can look at it and say, well, Louisville has a good coach. They're going to get some good players. I mean, we just can't sit in the off to the side and be like, well, I don't want them to get anybody, and if they don't get anybody, they're going to get players. And if they're good players, if you want to play and beat Louisville every year by 20 or 30, that's fine. But I want the UK Kentucky rivalry, the Louisville rivalry to be a rivalry like it used to be. If they don't have good players and we're beating them every year by 10 or 15, 20 points, it ain't fun anymore. Pat Kelsey's going to bring in players. He is a lot better coach than, what Louisville's had the last two coaches. And if you're going to sit there and complain about Louisville getting players, we're getting players too. We just don't need as many players as Louisville needed in the front court. They got three great guards. Okay, we've got two players coming in, so one minus what they've got, and we've got three or four that's more in the fold right now. So I'm not disappointed that I'm not looking around every day and seeing that Kentucky is getting another basketball player. we got about 2 months, and by the end of these 2 months, we're going to have a team that we're going to be sitting down and talking about. This is going to be a great basketball team next year. Just don't worry about Mark Pope. He's got this. He's got a great coaching staff. None of the coaches seems to me that they're leaving or going anywhere. They're going to be with Mark Pope for a while, and they got a great plan. They're going to have players for this coming year. So don't you worry about that.
A lot of people are comparing, or a lot of people are just, and nobody, thank you for that because you said it earlier, and I forgot to mention it. But we see the size of Ziegler. Now, just
Yeah,
size wise, not maybe athleticism or whatever, but just size wise. If Ziegler can do it, can Perry do it? I mean, I don't know how good Ziegler was when he was a freshman or whatever, but I'm sure he grew. But is it
I don't think that Travis Perry has the physical ability to be anything close to what Ziegler is. I mean, Ziegler is a great player for 4 years. I think he's been there for 18 years. It seems like, but he is a great player, and I, he Travis Perry could never be what he is. I don't. I mean, unless you giving the bionic man, operation or something.
he was like 5'9" and defensive player of the year. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, Ziegler was a beast. Well,
yeah.
and let me see who said that. Who said that about his height? Son of a gunner. That's kind of why I threw out with just taking the size wise in particular. How tall is Travis?
I think they list him at 6 foot.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah.
Now he
Well,
might not. He might that might be with a pair of shoes on. I mean,
yeah.
uh, but yeah. Perry's he's just slow footed, and he's just you
Yeah.
can't teach you cannot teach speed. I mean, yeah, either you have it or you don't.
Well, I hope he goes out and improves because
Yeah,
it looks like Perry is going to be at Kentucky for
I
his
mean,
career
yeah.
unless he decides to transfer. But right now, yeah,
Well, he's probably making so much money off of like small deals
yeah,
that why if he don't have to play a full game, he don't have to be someone that is counted on to make the tough shots. They can just come in and have fun, practice, be the big man on campus because being from Kentucky, being at Kentucky playing basketball, you're treated as a god,
yeah,
and
he is.
so
Ziegler is a point guard. Perry was forced to be. So basically, um,
Perry's a better shooting guard.
yes,
He's a shooting guard. He got thrown into being a point guard.
I agree with that too.
Yeah,
Yeah, man, this is Perry is a young man and he could get faster as he gets older. Yeah, I
I
mean
mean,
he can grow. He's gonna have to work at it though. There's drills out there
yeah,
that can help, but I mean you got to be willing to do that though.
yeah,
You got to put the work in. So I mean he has a gym at home, so he can go home and work out.
yeah.
I mean he got a good gym at home, so he can go home and work out too as well. So, well, Jimmy, man, that was a good show, bro. I
All right,
appreciate it,
yeah. I
man. I
appreciate
do,
being
man.
on here, and yeah,
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for
yeah. Thanks
joining
to
in.
everybody. I get to see some of the
Mm.
postings and everything, but I know I don't get to tell everybody, hey, how you doing and stuff like that. But everybody on here, we appreciate what you're all doing and getting on here and listening, giving us advice. It's awesome.
I love the comments because
Yeah,
I learn, and I'm not just. Let me just make this publicly known. Big Mike is not the smartest guy in basketball. I don't know all the stats. I don't know what everything really means. I just give my opinion of how I see what's going on. So if you're gonna inbox me and tell me that my opinions, that my thoughts make you cringe, that's okay because I never claim to know everything anyway too as well. So, but anyway, hey man, thank you guys so much. If you didn't smash that like button, please smash the like button.
yes,
It
please.
really helps. It really, I mean, matter of fact, can someone tell me how many we got thank you for getting live and keeping us updated on recruit. I appreciate it too. That's why I got Jimmy. I like Jimmy. Help me out here, buddy. Is it possible for Perry to make a jump? Yeah, I think
Anything's
it's
possible. Yeah,
yeah. I
yeah.
think it is too. Can someone tell me how many likes we got so far? Did I get 100? Can we get 100 likes on this video? That would be tremendous. Absolutely. I'm not sure how many we got. I'm not really sure how to really tell right now.
I don't know how to tell
Yeah,
either.
yeah. So I'll just see if somebody can tell me. Good show, y'all. See y'all. Thank you, William. I appreciate it. Not likely,
Yeah,
but
thank you.
possible. He said Big White got to get the call in.
Not
Session
possible.
fix it. I do. I gotta get it fixed in, man. But see, here's the problem though. If I do a call-in show, I have to be by myself. And I don't think that I want to get it fixed. I really want to get it fixed. And you guys will hear a while later. But I would, I wish I was able to get it fixed so I can have BC, Jimmy, and 21 on, and we all at the um, we all can be on and we can take phone calls where we can all answer you guys' questions at the same time.
Yeah,
Uh,
that'd be awesome. Yeah.
that'd be a really good show too as well. 48 likes. Okay, it is what
Uh,
it is. We still had fun.
yeah.
Uh, but this time, if you guys want to like the video, that would mean a lot. If not, that helps out too as well. So thank you guys, Jimmy. Thank you again. Please take care of all you guys. Acts says TV. When I checked the likes, you got 104 likes. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it, Carl. So I hit the like on my way in. Thank you always. That means a lot. So Jimmy, hey man, hey, I hope your house is good to go. Hope
Oh
everything's
yeah.
good
Yep.
up there. You guys take care of each other. Call people you know, check on them, make sure that their guys are safe from all the weather and the water and stuff. And like tell 21 straighten up and get that going. Come on, 21, fix the
Yeah.
program. Come on, producer. So, Jimmy, thank you. Thank all you guys. And until next time, go Cats.
Go Cats.